Today I'm going to show you how to enter in Mullion profile data for making our glass families. So the first thing you need to do is you need to open this profile data spreadsheet. Once you have that open, there's going to be a bunch of columns, and the first one, profile name, will be the name of the Revit family for any given Mullion, and then the other columns are going to be where you fill in the data. So today I'm going to show you a couple of different possibilities for the mullion types. I'm going to show you some verticals, horizontals, and corners, and just show you like the differences for entering the data. So first thing, let's do a vert. The first thing you do when you open your AutoCAD drawing for the profile, you go to model space, and then you need to find the family that profile corresponds to. So in this case, we'll put an SW60 411 01. Yeah. And it looks like for this family there's also a right, so put that into. So looking at this profile, first thing to do, profile offset, we always default that to negative 2.25. Location, the first one will be left, the second one will be right, and this location is the location of where the glass byte is, and that's where it is relative on the glass. So like in this drawing, this would be left because the byte is relative on the glass, it's on the left side of the glass. And the byte value, you'll get that by measuring from the end of the glass to the daylight opening. And you see that's 1/2. So you can just enter that in. And then gasket exterior, it'll be the glass on it'll be the gasket on the glass that's facing the outside of the building. So it'll be 237. And then gasket interior will be 236. These will be the same because this is just the right version of it if it was flipped around. And then the byte offset will be the same as the byte value, except on corners, which I'll go over later. The sealant length, on this glass there's no sealant, so you're just going to leave that value 0. And gasket exterior offset, that is the offset between the exterior gasket and the interior gasket. And for this particular mullion, it's 0. And I'll give you another example of that later. But that one's just 0. And edge block. On this profile there's edge block, so you need to put 149F. And setting block, 0. And since there's no setting block, the offset will be 0 for that. So I'm going to show you another example for vertical. Model space. So this is a door detail. So I'll go into the spreadsheet, find the family name, W67 511. And then the profile offset is negative 2.25. location, this will be right because the glass byte is on the right of the glass. The byte value will be 7/8, and the exterior is 371 down here. Interior 265. Byte offset will be the same as the byte. Sealant length. Now, when you measure the sealant length, the way you want to do it is you want to measure from the back of the glass to the farthest point on the sealant. So for this case, it'll be 5/8. And for the gasket exterior offset, this one actually has an offset. So the way you want to measure it is you want to measure from like the end of whatever like part it's in, whatever extrusion or whatever, and then you'll get that offset value. So this one will be -1/16. And when you measure this, the negative is just going to be like in the left direction relative to the exterior gasket, and then positive will be right in the right direction relative to the exterior gasket. And edge block, there's no edge block in this one, so you'll just make that value 0. Setting block, there's none, no offset for that either. And that's that door detail. So I'm going to show you a horizontal. So make sure your model space, get the family name. Okay. Offset. So this location will be bottom because relative to the glass, this is the bottom of the glass. The byte value will be measuring from the bottom of the glass to daylight opening, 1/2. Gasket exterior will be a 237, and then the interior will be 236. Again, the byte offset will be the same as the byte. There is no sealant on that glass, so this will be 0. There's no gasket offset. So that's 0. No edge block. But there's a setting block on this detail. So you'll enter that number in for the setting block down here. And that's a 229. And there's actually also a setting block offset. And what this parameter means is it's the distance from the center line of the setting block to the distance of the center line of, I guess, the airspace of the glass, or the pocket, if you want to call that. So to get that value, you'll measure from the center of the pocket to the center of the block. And it's 0.465. And we're done with this horizontal. And the last one I'm going to show you is a corner. and this is for an outside corner. I'm going to show you. So 3705, 5105, 1, and there's another one for the um, for the other family. So for this 5105, we should actually make two of them, and we should make one for if it's in this orientation, or one for if the orientation flipped. So we'll make a right and a left. This one being the left. So measuring the byte, we will get from the back of the glass to the DLO is 1 over 1 plus 17/16, or 17 seconds. Exterior gasket. It's actually, there's no exterior gasket. So when there's no exterior gasket, you'll just put 0. Interior gasket will be 120. And the byte offset is actually still different for these outside corners. So instead of measuring it being the same value as the byte, you'll actually measure from the back of the glass to the dim point that ends like at the corner. So this one will be 1 and 50, right? It will be, yeah, 1.5. Actually, it'll be negative. It'll be negative 1.5. And the sealant length, again, measured from the back of the glass to the farthest part on the gasket, 1 and 3/30 seconds. At 3/30 seconds. And there's no exterior gasket, so this is going to be 0. No edge block, no setting block. And you're good for that one. So that was for the 5105. Oh, oops. This should be 50. And for the oh, that was actually for the 5106. So should have been 5106. I put in the wrong profile. I was measuring from the wrong one. But as you can see, the parameters are actually going to be the same for the 5105. So it didn't really matter. I could have just used the same profile, and I wouldn't have had to change it. But basically, I will do the same thing for the 5105. I'll take all the same data and copy that down, and it'll be good.